Hello and welcome welcome to this Concise Webinar, everybody, and welcome to you wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in Australia and wherever you are in the world. This session is how to prepare your online store for crazy day sales. And you may well ask, what is a crazy day sale? And it's one of those sales where things go crazy for a day or slightly longer potentially. Welcome everybody. My name's Richard Keeves, and I'd like to also introduce my fellow presenter, Gareth Lane.
That must be me. Hello everyone. Hope you enjoy today's session.
Indeedy. Okay, for those people who may not have been to a Concise webinar, these are meant to be useful. We'll keep them concise, and they're not here to sell you anything, but here to help you. We are recording, and these will be on our YouTube channel later, and also on the Concise website under the Learn section, along with a lot of other previous webinars that we've run. You can ask questions as you go along. We're very happy to take questions. We've got a fair bit to cover, and so let's get into it. So what do we mean by crazy day sales? Well, the biggest example of a crazy day sale is what happens on Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday started off in the United States in about 2006, I think, and it is the Monday after the traditional, what has become a traditional in the retail world in America, the Friday. So last Friday in November is called Black Friday, and stores for the last 50 years or so have gone a bit silly with specials. So in 2006, Cyber Monday was introduced as the kind of the internet's answer to Black Friday in the retail physical world. Cyber Monday, the following one. So this year, Cyber Monday is on Monday, the 30th of November. Now, here in Australia, we have, in the last few years, started to embrace Black Friday and Cyber Monday, along with something that started a few years ago as a commercial operation in Australia called Click Frenzy. Click Frenzy was a couple of days ago. That is an Australian thing. And I don't know whether you caught up with the news overnight, but right today and overnight has been Singles Day in China, where 800 million people go online for a day and buy a heap of things from stores like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. No, Alibaba online. And a whole lot of other websites in China. Seriously, 800 million people go nuts. And the news report I saw just this morning was that has generated something like over $1 billion for Australian retailers selling into China. So these things are real. In Australia, Black Friday, Cyber Monday are American, but we're embracing them in Australia. There's Click Frenzy and Boxing Day. So in the big lead up to these sales, it's really important to sort of wrap your head around what you can do and what you probably need to do if you're going to try to participate to get as much business as you can in these crazy day sales. Gareth, do you want to add anything?
And this was an interesting observation just of mine. I've got my eye on something that I've been wanting to buy for a little while, and I've had a few clients in the last week whose numbers and stats are a little bit sort of inconsistent with where they should be. And I think you'll find that there are quite a few people sitting there waiting for a sale because they think a sale's coming. So it's a really good sort of potential opportunity to advise clients that you are having a sale or that there's a sale. Stay tuned for our sale promos, or you might do a notice on your socials or your emails and put a post up, something like Black Friday's around the corner. If you're not already on our mailing list, sign up, that type of thing, because it's not as big in Australia as lots of other places in the world, but I think you'll, like say me, I'm looking at buying something and I'm just sitting there waiting to see if they're going to have a sale on,
Yeah, and therein lies the problem, that through these sales, and retailers have been doing this for years, training their customers to wait for sales rather than buying when they need to. And so the downside of the crazy day sale approach is that customers do hang off buying something that they were going to buy. The upside is you can attract a whole lot more if you can promote yourself effectively in that time. Yeah, Great point, Gareth. It's a great point. So you've noticed that in the analytics. Okay, so the first part of this session today is what to think about, what to prepare. Now, probably if you're going to participate in the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, you've already done this. Because right now, with 2 weeks to go, it's kind of probably a bit late to be thinking, oh, what I'll do is order in a whole lot of special hot inventory that I'm going to sell, because you may not even get it in time. Having said that, one of the things that you can do, and that some retailers are doing, is providing gift cards as a really hot product option. So you can provide, pick a number, you can provide $100 gift card that people pay, and they may pay $80 for it. And when the person goes to, or whatever the number is, when people go to redeem their $100 gift card, they get $100 worth of value. You've got the benefit of the $80 worth of cash and as an upfront payment. So obviously you've then got to honor the gift card later. But gift cards can be a really useful thing if you are running short of hot item products. If you've got hot item products, then what inventory levels do you have? One of the things that people often ask and wonder about is, what pricing do you need to have in order to stand out from the crowd? This is a really good question, and there's no really good answer to it. But typically, at least 20% off retail, you'd want to be sort of going in. Otherwise, it's not such a big deal, and people won't be so excited by it. So if you look around the stores that participate in these crazy day sales, or in these sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, etc., then at least 20% off is a good thing. But you don't have to discount everything. Think about what products are going to be the hot ones, what are going to be the most popular product or products, and if you're going to discount those. You can discount special ranges, you can discount new ranges, but don't discount everything. Otherwise, you're sort of training customers in a way that you might not want. So, and also they're not necessarily going to buy everything. If you can promote some items, then you can get them to come into your store and then wander around, and maybe they'll buy something else. So make it attractive. It's all about margins. Business is about turnover and about margins. It's also about not making a loss too much, but understand the margins. And you can do different deals for different buyers. You can have different deals for new time buyers, different deals for quantity buyers. And you can also, as we say here, you can also include free gifts. It doesn't have to be discounts. Free gifts, or 2-for-1s, which sounds like a discount, but 2 for 1, or 5 for 1, or whatever it might be, or like whatever, 6 for 5. Free gifts can make a big difference, and can allow you to be part of the sort of the shopping frenzy experience, without necessarily providing a discount that may hurt you. Think about the average order value that is going to be in the shopping cart, or at each customer. How can you maximize the average order value? Are you going to have a threshold level over which people then can have free shipping? Is that going to be the same threshold that you normally have, or is it going to be potentially a slightly lower threshold, or a lot lower threshold? So you might have, as some people do, free shipping over $100. So for these crazy sales, you might say, okay, this time it's free shipping over $50. So you can change how you are doing this. You can include free gifts. You can bundle things up. Some businesses focus in on what we call here this massive big sale, a doorbuster sale, where there's a massive discount on one product to get serious attention, serious traffic, and it might be 80%. I saw in a lead up to I think it might have been Black Friday, or maybe it was Click Frenzy, just the other day, a new Apple iPhone 12. I'm in the market for one. They are normally $1,800 and something when they come out. They're going to be, apparently. This was being sold for $13. But I don't know how many they had, but they had this massive sale. So you can pick up an $1,800 item for $13. That does prick up people's ears and get attention. At least it did for me. And so this is the sort of thing that can take you into the store. If there's only one there, and I probably won't get it, then it's not going to hold me there. But the key to this is to get people to come into the store, and then at least you're getting the traffic in this particular day, as long as you can cope with the traffic. And it's about, as we talked,
roll a few months ago.
What was that?
It's just like toilet roll a few months ago.
Oh my goodness. COVID toilet paper.
Drove an enormous amount of people into the stores, and someone's always going to pick up something else. So whether or not anyone actually ran out or it was all part of a ploy, who knows? But you could easily do the same sort of thing online, where you limit, say, a price to a number of stock items. So you might put a particular item on super special, but only put 5 in the stock box. So even though you got 50, the first 5 are going to be at the discounted price, and then when they run out, it'll revert to the full price. So you can do little things like that. It's classic loss leader type idea from retail.
Yeah. So it's about, as we say here, it's about making these offers compelling, irresistible, really super attractive, so that people can then say, yes, I'll come and look at this. So as you're preparing, think about the promotions and how you're going to be promoting. Scheduling and automating as much as possible is the key to this, because when that day happens, it's too late then to start thinking about, oh, what am I going to say in the email? You need to have all this worked out beforehand and have these things scheduled to go when you want them to go. If you're going to be using promotion coupons, promo codes, then think about how they're going to work. Are they going to be a limited time? Is it going to be for an hour of a day? Is it going to be for a particular number? In other words, the first 5. And then after that, the price reverts. If that's the case, that's okay. You're going to have some people who are going to be annoyed, but if it's all explained clearly, then that's how it is. Think about the policies that you have normally in your store, and whether you need to improve those or change, not necessarily improve, but whether you need to change those specifically for the sale day, the returns policy, the guarantee policy. You may want to promote them in a different way. You may want to word them in a different way. You may even say, actually, returns, we provide absolute 100% return, no problem at all. Or you might say, these items are actually not available for return because you're getting them on this crazy price. You may not, there's points for and against, and it really depends on the business. Shipping, can you get special deals on shipping from your shipping providers? In which case, are you able to pass on those special deals? And customer service, if you've got people who are there manning the live chat line or messenger or however it is, even the phone lines in the store, phone lines on your website, then do you need extra people? Do you need to think about that in advance? Customer service and support is a really important thing these days. And certainly in the times of sales, it's really important for you to be there to help people. So we looked at prepare. This is about optimize. What are the things that you need to optimize? Well, pretty much optimize everything. If there's something that you can improve, then look to see how it can be optimized. Site content is really important. Images, optimize images. We say because you must. Images need to be optimized. They need to load quickly. They need to be attractive. They need to present the product in its best light. But above all, images need to be there and load quickly, and you don't want large images that slow down the load speed. FAQs. Do you need any additional FAQs just for these sales? Countdown timers are something that are really popular. So can you add a countdown timer to your website to lead into the sale? So if you know the sale is going to start in a week's time, then the countdown timer can start to count down for the next week. And after that, the sale is going to last 24 hours, or maybe it's going to last 48 hours or whatever, then you can have a countdown timer on the website to show how much time is remaining. It's about creating this sense of urgency. We talk a bit more about that in a minute. If you're going to be focusing in on the sale day, then you can adjust some of your content to mention that. One thing that's really helpful is especially because a lot of people buy gifts this time of year, is to create a gift-giving guide, a guide that people can use in order to start to fine-tune or work through the different products that you've got for sale as a guide for what might be appropriate for this type of person or that type of person. And you can make suggestions. Obviously, you're going to lead people down their buying journey, so make helpful suggestions with products that you can deliver on. And what else are we going to optimize? Optimize shipping. you got to make sure that the delivery time frames are very clear. If somebody is buying something now and they want to have it as a Christmas present or a whatever Hanukkah present, whatever it might be, and it's going to be delivered in 3 months' time, that won't be okay. I've bought some things on eBay and they arrive within a week. I've bought other things on eBay and they literally take 3 months to get here. So that's not okay at this time of year. So you've got to let people know the time frames. And we talked before about shipping and whether there's a minimum spend and thresholds. One way to recover some money in the sale is to provide a different price for rapid shipping. Now, that may cost you more than the standard type of shipping, but you can charge a little bit more on top of it if somebody does want a more rapid shipping option. So you can ask yourself whether you can charge more for that. Now, the purchase process, this has got to work really clearly. If you've got one person on the website at a time and they take their time and they kind of work through the process, then that's okay. But if you've got 100 people hammering your website at the same time, things have to work really well, and it's got to work really well under load. Most people prefer, most new customers generally prefer to buy something as a guest. Don't make them create an account in order to make a purchase. Allow them to be a guest as the guest checkout. So test it, make sure that's working. The payment methods. As we all know now, Afterpay and Zip Pay now are things, and people seem to love them. Those people who love them apparently love them a lot, and so if you're not offering those as options, then sort of why not? There may be some valid reasons why not, but think about that if you're not. It's pretty easy to set up. Optimize for mobile. Everything has got to work on mobile. We've sort of been saying this for the last few years, but if your site doesn't work well on a mobile, you're going to miss out on business. E-commerce is done on mobile phones now, and just as much, in fact, far more than on desktop devices. So the site has to load quickly. It's got to be usable on a mobile. Think about the customer support processes and what follow-up you need to be working with. Look to see how you can improve, optimize these processes. How are you going to cope with larger volumes? How are people going to find your return policy if that's going to be important to them? And the abandoned cart emails. We ran a whole webinar on abandoned cart emails just a few weeks ago. It's on the blog, in the resource section. But the science of abandoned cart emails is really important. If you're not using an abandoned cart email, then consider that. When somebody goes to shop and they don't follow through on the purchase, they don't make the purchase, then you can follow them up as long as you've got their email address. You may want to revisit and rewrite the abandoned cart email to cope specifically with purchases that are being made in this sale day, to help people complete the transaction on the day rather than putting it off for a few days. So think about how long it takes for the abandoned cart email to be sent, and then what sort of follow-up needs to happen. Because if you're trying to allow people to buy in that day, then you probably want to send them the email, and you want to send them a follow-up email at the same time. Not at the same time, in the same day. Rather than saying, oh, well, normally we do that 5 days later. Hey, the sale will be finished 5 days later. So think about your abandoned cart email process. Gareth, sorry, I'm do you want to add anything? I'll take a breath.
A change. On the point about the speed thing, it is also a really important thing if you have a non sort of hosted site like Shopify, for example. If you're running your own servers or you have a platform that you have a hosting, it's worth getting in touch with whoever the hosting company is to make sure that there's sufficient capacity if you're planning out an enormous email.
Gareth's been looking ahead to the next slide.
Yes, and I've been shot in this movie before where I get a panic email from a client saying our website's gone down, and then the following email said we sent out 25,000 emails. And no server is built to take that in one go. So it just requires a bit of planning and get in contact with your hosting company or your web developer if they're doing it, or us if we're doing it, and just make sure that that is planned. I think, do a good little run through as a customer, as we always say. Put your hat on as a customer. Get a mobile out. Get a desktop browser out. Go through the sale. Put the coupon code in. Double check everything looks. Before you send 10,000 emails. And tell everyone on Facebook and so on. So just walk around the shop.
Yeah. A lot of e-commerce sites that are, for example, run in WordPress and WooCommerce are set up on what we call a shared server, where you may be, and normally, under normal conditions, the shared server might be okay. It may work quite well or well enough, and it may load quickly. But when you've got a number, and there may be, for example, 20 sites that all share that server, 20 different websites that all are hosted on that same server. Some hosting organizations may host hundreds or sometimes even thousands of websites on the same shared server. So when one gets busy, it uses up the resources that are on the server, and the others grind to a halt, or they all grind to a halt. So if your website is on a shared server environment, with whoever's hosting it, talk to the hosting provider and understand and find out what the limitations and constraints are with the server that you are on, and just find out whether you can upgrade that temporarily or potentially permanently, but at the very least get ready to upgrade it just for the period of the sale, or the week before and the week after. It can pay off enormously. It may cost a little bit more depending on what the website is, but the payoff can be substantial. And the commercial embarrassment, if you're, as Gareth just said, if you're sending out 25,000 emails or even just 1,000, and a whole lot of people click the link, come back to the website, the embarrassment of your site going down is something that you can, this day and age, it shouldn't happen. It doesn't need to happen. You can always laugh it off and say, hey, yeah, we were really busy that day. Yeah, but you were busy, but you had so many people trying to enter the store that the whole thing crashed. You wouldn't want that in the real world, and you don't need to have it happen for your website. So also, as Gareth mentioned, test the website, test it prior to. Test the promo codes, make sure they're working. Test their website, look for any links that are broken, any error pages, and try to understand the limits that the website has. Every website, irrespective of where the site is, what technology it is, every site has got limits above which it will slow down and sometimes even stop working. It doesn't matter whether you're Google or IBM. Google have massive capability. They've still got limits. So just be aware, try to understand what your limits are so that you can then manage things and upgrade if necessary. So the marketing, we've got some ideas here for the marketing for the Crazy Days sale approach. Understand that you've got lots of different types of customers, but don't think, or our recommendation is, don't think that this is just about attracting new customers. Yes, that's part of what it's about, but it's also about working through with past customers, previous customers, and just as importantly, we would argue, it's about rewarding your current customers. Share the bonuses and benefits with them. Nothing annoys a current customer more than seeing, this is from my experience of looking at business over the years, nothing annoys a current customer more by seeing that the benefits that are of these discounts and bonuses and free gifts and everything are only for new customers and not available for someone who's a current customer. That's bloody annoying. It's also a bit rude, really, because you need to be rewarding the people who are loyal to you as well as attracting new ones. So don't think this is just about new customers. It's a big mistake a lot of businesses fall into. And so you may have questions on that. Oh, there's a question. Listen, what if there is a way to solve abandoned carts before it's abandoned and creating upsell or cross-sell opportunities as well? Great question. And Gareth, we'll come back to that one. And Gareth, you can have a think about that and you can answer that in a little while about abandoned carts. Yeah. Okay. So the marketing plan. How will you reach customers? Emails. Emails are great as long as people read them. And so think about the process, a weekly email, a an email the night before, and an email on the day. And also understand it's not one size fits all. If you've got a mailing list and you can segment it to send different messages to different types of customers, then do that. Like if you're trying to reactivate customers to buy from you, then send them a different message to that which you would send a customer who's a regular purchaser. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but a lot of people miss it. So segment the mailing list. The social media, create hashtags, use hashtags for that particular day. Encourage people to talk about what you're doing. A lot of people run ads to promote their business and their products. So think about whether the ads need to be changed. Those ads might be search ads, maybe display ads, maybe remarketing ads. Think about whether you need to change the ad copy on your ads before the sale or on the day of the sale, or both, in order to reflect this particular day's sale. So everything's consistent, everything's congruent, everything's with integrity. And as a result of that, you're able to really be consistent with how you present. The website, you can, in the lead up to the sale, have ad banners on your website. And remember Google Shopping and Bing Shopping, that if you're going to be having products listed in there, then remember that you can vary up the messages that are going to be presented on those. The other thing is to try to develop points of leverage, whether they be affiliates, whether they be advocates for your business, social influencers, where one person can promote your sale out to 10 or 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000, potentially 10,000, whatever the number might be. So where you've got one person who can put out something on their social media out to their followers, out to their fans, whatever it might be, then understand who those people are, and remember that you can gain massive leverage out to the marketplace by working in with other people. In the marketing world, there's something that sort of came the term a few years ago was the buzz. So generate the marketing buzz. This is done by warming people up, essentially, like putting out announcements ahead of time. We kind of come from a no bullshit. No, probably shouldn't use that. No BS, we like to call it. We sort of operate in a no bullshit type of a world. And,
can I jump in there, Richard?
You can jump, mate. Am I allowed to say bullshit?
Yeah. So about this preliminary announcements, I've been saying this to a few people that I've spoken to this week, is that they sort of lining up to plan on doing an email or a Facebook on the day. And my advice was to send a warm-up email the day before or post tomorrow, with a countdown. So, heads up, Black Friday starts at midnight or something like that. And the reason for doing it is two things. One, a lot of people still don't have their emails in front of them all day like I do. The people might check their email at night time or, the following day. So if you're relying on sending an email on Black Friday, but that person might not see it until Saturday, they've kind of missed it. Whereas if you send them an email on Thursday, it's like a reminder that there's coming on Friday. And then the other reason is, a lot of people the email might go to junk, or they may miss it, or it might get looked at by someone else. So it's worth sending the same or a similar message a couple of times over a few hours, the day before and during the day, just to sort of tick off as many bases as you possibly can.
Yeah, without spamming. It's about it's about making announcements, creating the hype, doing it in a good, positive way, and making sure that people have got a good chance of seeing it. So yeah, don't just think that the message you send on Friday is going to get through to them on the Friday. It may not, as Gareth mentioned. Yeah. Absolutely, great point. Yeah. Okie dokie. So another thing, or this is probably one of the big keys, really. Think about scarcity and whether you've got real scarcity with this product, with the products or not. Build it in. You need to create, and preferably genuine, sense of urgency. How do you do that? Well, by the language that you use, just as much as the reality of how much stock you've got available or not available. So you can use these phrases like limited time only one, or X number left, in high demand, sold out soon. This kind of thing that you can use to create this urgency factor. The other point there is about deals by the hour. This is possible, and with a good website shopping system these days, it's very doable, where you can set deals up to be available for a particular time frame, and you can run different deals at different times during the day. And so a particular product or product range may be on sale at a U-Butte special, never to be repeated price between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning. And another set might happen at 11 till 12, whatever it might be. It doesn't have to just be an hour, but think about running. I was talking with a client yesterday who said, yeah, he's going to start his Black Friday campaign, or Black Friday sales on I think he said Wednesday. So he's going to be running Black Friday for 2 days prior. And then we kind of talked about a few options, and that is saying, okay, you can run different specials during that time. So it's not just opening the shop up for discount prices for that 3-day process. Yeah, and I mentioned before about rewarding loyal customers. It's so many people miss it. And then, okay, so that's part of the marketing, some ideas for marketing. And in the spirit of our Concise webinar, there are some things to learn. And when you've gone through all this and you think, yeah, okay, what did we learn? What can you learn for next time? What can you learn from customers, from your staff, from your suppliers? Also, look to your competitors. What have they done? What have they done that worked, or maybe it looks like it didn't work for them? And what feedback did you hear about through social media or through other chatter channels about what your competitors did or didn't do? Look at your analytics. Analytics are really important. Your Google Analytics, if you're using something like Shopify, your Shopify Analytics, different e-commerce systems have different analytics. Google Analytics is great, and it's free, and it provides you with lots and lots and lots of information, almost too much. But if you know somebody, or you've got somebody who can help you understand what it's telling you, then you can really drill down into the analytics to understand where the business came from, why things worked, where the people who bought came from, so that you can then do better, do more of what worked next time and do less of what didn't work next time, or change what you did. And now the other thing to learn at the end of it is how these customers that you've discounted your product range or some of the products in order to purchase or in order to acquire these new customers, how can you turn them into ongoing customers rather than just one-off customers? That's probably the biggest question of the lot, really. It's one thing to sell something to a discount to create one customer once, but if you never follow up with them and never stay in touch and never give them the opportunity to buy from you again, then was it really worth it? Was it really worth it? Whereas if you can acquire the customers and develop a lifetime relationship, a significant relationship that lasts a long lifetime with them, the lifetime value from that customer can be significant. Okay, that's Gareth. What do you want to add? And then we'll get on to the question that came through and any other questions as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the question, and I think the question is around abandoned carts. And the thing with abandoned carts is that you're never going to get everybody, and you have to really understand about what constitutes an abandoned cart. So an abandoned cart can be someone testing the website by just clicking the add to cart button. I was on a website with a client this morning, and I would have clicked the add to cart button 3 or 4 times. That's going to show up as 3 or 4 abandoned carts. So you can't expect it to have 100% success rate. The other thing is a lot of people will add stuff to their cart to work out what the shipping policies are, to see if they pay. They might change their mind. They might get distracted. So yes, you're trying to do upselling or cross-selling in the cart is a great idea and definitely should be considered. But if you're getting sort of 50% completions for every cart, that's not terrible if you consider all the testing and all those sorts of things. So
it's a really good point. I mean, the question was kind of what if there is there a way to solve abandoned carts before it's abandoned, and the point there is really to make sure that people know what it is they're adding to their cart, make sure that they know what they're up for ahead of adding it, ideally. So put your shipping costs right up front, so that's not a surprise later on. Put any other fees right up front. Put your guarantee policy and your returns policy and any other policy that's relevant right up front, so that people know, they know up front how you're going to operate, so that doesn't have to be a shock to them later on that stops them from buying. But as Gareth said, a lot of people just shop online. They didn't actually intend to buy. They're just kind of looking. And whereas the other people kind of get interrupted in the middle of the purchase process, or they're not quite sure what size shoe they take. They kind of like the look of that one, but they're not really quite sure. And so they've got questions. And so answer as many questions up front, provide live chat experience so that people can ask questions of you in the middle of their shopping cart journey. A lot of these things can stop or reduce the abandon process before it happens. But you're never going to reduce it totally, but you can do there are a lot of things you can do to reduce the number of people who choose to abandon their cart in the mid-process. Another question has just come in. Great. How can businesses offer more personalized services via their websites? Gareth.
Good question. I think you would have to first consider what is the website, what does it do, what is the business, who are the clients, and then ask yourself, what would that customer expect? For example, if you're selling a complicated product, I've got a client at the moment who sells a product that every product has to be customized, and you can't just sort of click a button and buy online. And some of those products, are a couple of $1,000s to buy. So you would really want to make sure you've got 24-hour customer service, telephone, live chat, all those little things that you would get from a in-store experience. And I always say to clients that when you're thinking about your website and the website journey, is imagine what you would do if you had a physical store. So a lot of websites, if you compared to a physical store, basically have one front door and there's no staff standing around. The credit card machine's hidden in the back of the corner. There's no signs on the wall. There's no banners. All the stocks are in a big mess. All the shelves are in a big mess. And so when you look at a website, think about it as if it was your shop. And if you had a physical store, you'd have an opening hours on the front door. You'd have, for after hours, please call this number. You'd have some staff on the floor who are going to help. You'd have lots of signs up on the walls saying, free delivery or need a hand, give us a shout, all that sort of stuff. All those things can apply to a website.
I think just on that point, a lot of people in the past and still now approach their online shop as if it was an automated set and forget type of thing that they don't have to work in, and that will just sit there and work 24/7 so that they can make money in their sleep. That's kind of the dream, right? And the dream is that people come to your website, they buy things automatically or relatively automatically without your involvement, and there's enough information on the website to engage and inspire and help them answer all their questions and follow through so that they don't need to interact with any person. They will just buy. That is partly the reality for some stores, but not the reality for very many. It's a dream that's sold by web developers, I suppose, and also by people who try to sell you seminar programs about how you can set up your own store. The get rich quick kind of mindset that says set up a website and it'll sit there and make money for you while you're asleep. All of that's, it's kind of at one level it's fact, but at another level it's very fiction. And just, don't, if you want a successful e-commerce store, don't think that it is a set and forget operation. It will not be. It needs customer service. It needs to have people there to support. It needs to have the personal interaction that some customers are looking for. Some people are going to come and buy automatically without any involvement from you. Others want to talk to someone. They may be bloody annoying, but they actually want customer service, and that can kind of get in the way of some people's set and forget mindset. So I think if you set out to provide personal service or personalized service, then you've got a really good chance of beating the opposition who are just in this 24/7 set and forget, make money in their sleep mindset, because they want things to happen automatically, whereas that it actually takes a bit more than that. That's my observation over 25 years of working in this e-commerce world, that the businesses that do well are the ones that treat their customers with respect and are there to support them. Okay, everybody, thanks very much for joining us today. If you want any help in any of this stuff, please give us a call, no obligation. And one thing we don't mention very much, but I should, is that because you invested time to come to the webinar, we're very happy to help you in any way we can, and we provide a half hour, up to half an hour free consulting on any issue that you may have for people who have attended the webinar live. So, and there's no obligation, no strings attached, just to help you work through stuff. That's what we're here for. Okay, everyone, thanks very much for coming today. Have a great day, and enjoy, and enjoy the sales that will come up. All the best. Whether you're a customer or a seller, enjoy. Thank you.
Cheers.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. Have a good day.